Welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Lapidus. Today, joined by Mehrob here. We have, if you're just tuning in, gone over all of the biggest news from around the NBA. Game 5 of the finals officially underway here in Oklahoma City. We talked about the Desmond Bane trade that took place yesterday as well. It's still trading season, though. The MLB trade deadline a couple months away, but that has not stopped one of the most shocking moves in recent baseball memory from taking place, as the Boston Red Sox have traded away their best player and franchise cornerstone, Rafael Devers, to the San Francisco 49ers. Oh my God, to the San Francisco Giants, for nothing, really, for 36 cents and some pocket lint. It is ridiculous what has taken place here. It is baseball heresy. I'm just going to start off right here. Mehrob, as a Boston fan, what is this? What is going on right now? It is ridiculous. These decisions, head-scratching decision making after decision. They just swept the Yankees. They were above 500 for the first time in forever. Everything was going well, and then this bomb drops. What is going on in Boston?
We're seeing nightmares of 2021. That's what's happening in Boston. We've seen this movie before. That's what's happening in Boston. There was a guy by the name of Mookie Betts who brought us to who won us a World Series, who was renowned as one of the best players in the MLB, that the Boston Red Sox decided to trade away honestly, in a similar fashion as this. That's why, if you guys saw me yesterday here on the show, I was the way I was. I was very much going through the emotions of it, very much going through all of the thought, everything that happened, all the flashbacks of 2021 came back. But this time it's by the name of Rafi Devers instead of Mookie Betts. This trade is just shocking. We saw you bring up that they just swept the New York Yankees. Fun fact, Rafi had a home run in this game yesterday. And 4 hours later, 4 hours removed, the Boston Red Sox decide to trade him away. And it's crazy. It is beyond crazy. But that's the world of sports now. It just is what it is. When we're looking at this trade, the Giants look phenomenal. The Giants absolutely won this trade. And I think this puts them in the World Series conversation, in the top 3 echelons of the NL, with the New York Mets and the LA Market Dodgers. I think those two teams, it puts them right in the conversation with them to win the NL. I think for the Red Sox side of things, we just saw, we were joking about this earlier in the show. We saw Craig Breslow, the GM of the Red Sox, put out a quote earlier today talking about that the Red Sox might end up winning more games than that might have been originally thought after this trade. I know what Jeremy's going to say, so I'm going to leave him to react to that one, but it's crazy to even think about that a GM of a team would think about saying something like that. It is shades of Nico Harris in Dallas. That is what it is. It truly is shades of Nico Harris. So put all of this together, we are looking at the Boston Red Sox, who was a team that was going to compete, who could possibly compete for the AL pennant, who could compete with the New York Yankees, had beaten them 5 out of 6 times already this year. Give up their trade piece, give up the cornerstone of their team, and we're looking at who knows what the Red Sox could look like 2 months from now. But I'm going to leave it on that note and hand the baton over to my good friend Jeremy Lapidus.
Yeah, before we get into the return for this, let's just break down this saga, because a saga is what it is. All of this kind of feels more petty than anything else, to me at least. We're going to break down where this all starts. It starts at the beginning of the season, the off season. The third baseman for the Red Sox was Rafael Devers. Devers wanted to be the third baseman. He signed that 11-year, $330 million contract extension 2 years ago, with the expectation that he would be the long-term third base option. Now, I will say, I did not hate the signing of Alex Bregman. In fact, I really liked the signing of Alex Bregman because Rafael Devers, to put it bluntly, is not a good third baseman. He was the worst qualified third baseman out of every single third baseman defensively in the field. But what makes him worth it is his bat. He is one of the top 10 hitters in the entirety of the MLB. And it's not really even that close. He's absolutely in that discussion. And hitting is more valuable than defense when it comes to baseball. The hot corner, he just was not meant to play that. Devers was not happy, of course, when they signed Alex Bregman, which is understandable on both sides as well. I can understand where both sides are coming from. He was asked by the media if he would switch to DH, and he simply said no. Like, it was a flat-out no was his answer. They were able to smooth it out. He's moved to DH. He's having the best hitting season of his entire career. He's going to break his OPS plus record that he's on pace to just have his best season ever from behind the plate. He's racked up almost 2.5 WAR already as a DH. And if you know what that WAR stat is, a lot of it has to come with defense. It is incredibly hard for a DH to rack up a great WAR season. He's almost at 2.5, and we're not even halfway through the season right now. He struggled out of the gates, but he's really turned it on down the stretch here. More fuel was added to the fire to this when first baseman Trenton Casas went down. He went down with injury, and the media asked if Devers would be at all interested in moving to first base, just to fill a hole in the meantime, right? Understandably, again, Devers went off, right? He was not happy with this. He reiterated, when he signed that 11-year contract just 2 years ago, he signed it with the understanding that he would be the long-term third baseman for the Boston Red Sox. He is not going to move. He said, I'm a DH. They made me a DH. I'm only a DH. He kind of took a shot at the GM, at the ownership, and that's where I think a lot of this come from. Mehrob, you brought up, of course, Mookie Betts. He was traded away after they won a World Series in 2018. They say, oh, but he's going to be a depreciating asset. He has been a first-team all-MLB guy for the last 5 seasons, won 2 World Series over there. That was amidst a contract dispute. They've just, in general, shown a lack of willingness to pay or hold on to their star players over the course of the last 10 years or so, right? This is just a failure as an organization. Another kind of piece to throw into the puzzle here that I haven't seen too many people talking about. The owners of the Boston Red Sox, Fenway Sports Group, also owns Liverpool. And they just made some very expensive moves in the transfer portal over there. They paid a lot of money to get a couple of players. They're trying to save money here. That's what this trade was. They saved $250 million. All of that money is going to the Giants' books now. That's something that the Red Sox fan, I think, need to pay attention to here. There is just a lot going on in this situation that is above baseball, across the pond even, and is not even a part of what's going on in the field here. It is a mess, all of it. And we haven't even gotten into the return yet, but there is just so much going on with this Red Sox team. They're a big market team. They should not be having to do this. It just really pisses me off because this is a Red Sox team that could have been so good right now. Ugh, it's just a mess over there. I hate it so much.
Yep. And I'm just happy that you said this situation because you said it much calmer than I would have. So I'm happy that I gave that baton to you on that one. But going into the return of it, if we're going to talk about what we got for Rafi Devers, yes, the Red Sox absolutely got a bag of chips, pocket change, 36 cents, whatever you want to call it. This is a team that they bring in a guy like Jordan Hicks, a relieving pitcher with a 6.5 ERA this year. A guy that's been bouncing around the league for the last few years, had a good streak with the Toronto Blue Jays for a little while, but the Giants bring him in, and it has been nothing short of a train wreck for a relieving pitcher so far. Is that going to change? We'll see how that happens. But from there, we have a guy by the name of Kyle Harrison, who's a similar boat, has a little bit of better ERAs, younger, has more upside to him, can be a startable piece, but is not there yet. And then you have 2 minor league guys that who knows what we're going to see out of them, but this is obviously in the Red Sox farming system. They have a good farming system. They just brought in 2 of the top premier. Um, I can't think of the word for it. Think of the terminology. It's going right over my head. You know what I'm talking about, Jeremy? Please. Thank you.
Two of the top prospects here in baseball were just
Thank you.
called up there. Two of the top five guys. This is a team that has a solid prospect field. You talk about the guys that came over here, right? You bring up you bring up Jordan Hicks, right? He was a failed starting pitcher, nearly 7 ERA. The big piece of this puzzle for me, Kyle Harrison, just got sent down to AAA immediately. He was slated to start against the Dodgers on Sunday Night Baseball. And then they got two prospects outside of the top 100. Their number 4 prospect from the Giants farm system was their first round pick last year out of Florida State, and he's got a little bit of pop. He's someone that can come in and have some power here. And then you've got a pitcher that's still in developmental ball. He just came over to the States. These guys are young. Kyle Harrison is 20. These other guys are even younger. They're in high A and developmental leagues right now, right? They're not ready to come up. Devers at 28 years old is still in his prime. It is just a bad trade, no matter how you look at it, from the sense of the Red Sox. Now, the Giants, they're taking on the full salary of Rafael Devers, and that's not a little amount of money, right? That is a good amount of money you're taking. $250 million over the next 9 seasons is all fully guaranteed in baseball. New GM Buster Posey over there having a nice start to his career off of the playing field in the Bay Area. But this is a Giants team that right now is just 1 game back of the Dodgers in the NL West, right? You add one of the best hitters in the game, and we did a real or fake on the Giants on Friday. This completely changes my mind on them. I thought they could be a wild card team. This is a huge step up. You have Matt Chapman coming back to play third base. This is a Giants team that isn't even fully healthy. He's going to play DH. He should play DH. That's where he belongs, because he's not a third baseman with the way that he plays the field. But this makes the Giants real contenders. It really does. I'm a huge fan of this trade for the San Francisco Giants, and I think with the way they're playing, the way that the pitchers are going right now for them, they have a shot to potentially beat the Dodgers in that NL West, that incredibly crowded NL West.
Most definitely. The NL West is going to be, if it wasn't already crowded, if it wasn't already the best division in baseball, you might as well just throw away the rest of the NL outside of the Mets and just give the NL West the entire conference spotlight. This is a conference that's filled with 3 teams right now: the Dodgers, the Giants, and the Padres. As much as you want to say the Padres hitting has been a little bit quiet recently, their fielding, their pitching, their bullpen is the reason why they are still good as they are. They're still one of those top teams in the NL, and they're still in the midst of all of this. But with this move, the Giants already have one of the best bullpens in the league. They have the I think they have the third least runs given up in a season so far, or second, sorry, with 3.27, right behind the New York Mets. But when we're looking at this right now, this is a Giants team that already has a great bullpen. They're hitting. You brought up Matt Chapman. They're not even fully healthy with their best hitters, and they add a Rafael Devers, who's just a home run machine, a hitting monster. You brought up the WAR stat. He's one of the best hitters he's having one of the best hitting seasons of his career, and easily one of the top 25 players in the MLB right now. You're adding that guy to this already loaded San Francisco Giant team. This is a team that's going to be around for the next few years. In terms of salary and GMing and cap space, that is going to be a little bit of an issue. But in the immediate future, this is a San Francisco Giants team that is going to contend for the next 2 to 3 years, for sure, no doubt.
Yeah, you talk about this Giants team. They haven't made the playoffs in over 5 years at this point. It's been a long time since they were last in this realm of even discussion. Now, they were off to a very hot start, and this is absolutely going to help, but they need to finish strong. They need to continue to push here after making this trade for Rafael Devers. I think they can do it with the way that they're playing. It's going to be quite the finish in the NL West. But we're not done with the NL West here, because some more massive news out of the NL West here today. Shohei Ohtani returns to the mound for the first time in nearly 2 years. We'll talk about that and much more coming up next here on the GSMC Sports Podcast.